Good afternoon. The following segment that you're about to watch contains colorful language. Viewer discretion is advised. Good afternoon, peeps. Hope all is well. You guys know what I want to talk about. My thoughts on Trump's comments regarding shithole countries and slash Oprah's supposed run for the presidency for 2020. 2020 or 2020. All right. So, there's been some controversy regarding Trump, which no fucking surprise. I guess they had like a meeting regarding immigration, and then somebody mentioned, Haiti, El Salvador, and a couple of like African countries and stuff like that. And there's been speculation that Trump said, why would we have to bring those shithole countries? Why don't we bring a country like Norway? And so, again, there's no evidence that he said that. There's no clippings, like voice clippings that he said that. But there's been a lot of sources, saying that he said that comment, like shithole countries, right? Let's just say that he did say that, which is, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he said that. There's a lot of people defending Trump, saying that, oh, he didn't say it, there's no evidence, da-da-da-da. But why would people say shithole? Why would that come out their mouths? So obviously, that it probably was said. And again, it would not be a surprise, just being that it's Trump. And so, Friday night, I posted something on Instagram. It's like a video pretty much saying my thoughts on that, saying like how, like, to paraphrase, I pretty much said like how the whole shithole hate, like me being of Haitian descent, saying like how I'll just play the clip. It'll be better if I just here. I'm on Instagram. This is from Friday night.
On this piece of shit, he never ceases to amaze me. This motherfucker had the audacity to call Haiti, El Salvador, and other African countries shithole countries because of the whole immigrants situation that he's talking about. Not knowing this country's built on immigrants, okay? Even though all you fake ass white supremacists talk about, if you don't like it, get the fuck, go back to your country. Nigga, you're not from this country. Unless you're Native American, you're not from this country either. So let's not even go there. What people don't realize is that Haiti at one point, produced half of the world's coffee and sugar. Something that Americans love and worship like it's no tomorrow. Like, people just have to, in this country, we have to have their coffee and sugar. So if it wasn't for ourselves producing that, y'all wouldn't have any of that. Fucking Zoran Bozon. Fucking orange bitch. Fuck you. Eat a dick. Ça passe.
Alright. So pretty much that's my... Did I press? Okay. Did I press the off button by accident? Yeah, so pretty much that was my thoughts. And then one of my friends, Will, who is actually a Marine, he responded. Obviously, he had some disagreements with what I said. And shout out to my dude, Will. I've known him since high school. I was in high school with him. Cool dude. We don't chill like that, but I do consider him a good friend, And he said, just throwing it out there, when I was in Afghanistan, we had TCN, which is the acronym for third country nationals, working on base, doing various jobs to upkeep the base. I got close to a bunch of dudes from Nairobi, capital of Kenya, Somalia, and Nigeria. Like, no bullshit, when I asked them how those countries are, because I have never been there before and would love to travel there one day, they replied, no bullshit, in parentheses, the land is beautiful, but the places themselves are shitholes, like legit, no lie, word for word. I'm just saying, everyone always tries to make it about race and shit like he is racist. People from their own countries admit it and call it a shithole. What's everyone getting so mad about? The truth? And I said, because Trump is generalizing, which is very unprofessional, especially for someone in this profession. I cannot speak for Somalia or Kenya, but I have a lot of Nigerian friends back home in New York. And yes, I have seen pictures. They stay in Lagos, which is beautiful. I believe Lagos is the capital of Nigeria. Excuse me. Not all of Africa is shantytown and huts like most America thinks of Africa. Same thing for Haiti. I have friends and family that live and are from Haiti, and again, not all of Haiti is in ruins like the American media portrays it to be. I know for sure that Trump has never been to those countries. He just goes off of speculation. Everything in this country is about race, sadly to say. I wish it wasn't like that. What are people supposed to do? Just not say anything? But yeah, if someone criticizes anything that has to do with Jewish people, that person will be called anti-Semitic, i.e., i.e., Professor Griff. And me being of Haitian descent, it offends me when he would generalize a whole nation. He's married to an immigrant, so I don't understand why this whole country, this whole thing with immigration is an issue. This country is built on immigrants, and that's pretty much what I said. And he hasn't responded back, so it is what it is. So, it's one of those we can agree to disagree, but just be respectful about it. And he was respectful about it. He just didn't agree with what I said. So he's just going by a point of view of a Marine, and I respect the troops to an extent, but a lot of them tend to have that cop mentality, and a lot of times they tend to have a very narrow mind way of thinking. They just go by whatever they see and they just run with it, and not realizing that there's different points of view of things. And that's my issue with that, and with police officers and Marine and soldiers and stuff like that. It's crazy too because I have another friend that actually went to boot camp for Marines, and I told him this. I told him straight up, like, yo, man, like, I kind of don't have respect for some of the American soldiers because a lot of them tend to have like they have like a god complex. They feel like their shit don't stink. They feel like they're better than everybody and things like that. And he told me straight up, like, yo, man, like, yo, you right, because they teach us that in the Marines that we are better than everybody. We're supposed to think that, and that's not the way to do things. Like, yo, dude, like, no offense, but you like, dude, you guys are pawns. Same thing with police officers. I do respect the line of duty. They protect the country, or the cities. Being the police officers. Because without them, would have total anarchy. But you guys need to realize that you guys are pawns. I hate to say it like that, but it is what it is. Because God forbid, something happens and they die, and then the general, whatever, goes to their loved one of that deceased soldier or police officer, give them a folded American flag. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss dot 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 dot. And all that for what? You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, man. It's just that's just my thing. That's my view on police officers and soldiers and stuff like that. Not all of them are like that, but the majority of them do have that mentality, and I don't like it. And I've always been kind of a rebel, growing up. I've never liked the whole authoritarian way of things. Like, I'm the type of dude, like, I don't like people on top of me and just like yelling at me, because I'm the type of to bark back. So, but that's just what it is. But luckily I didn't have too many bosses like that. I had a couple bosses like that, but it is what it is. But yeah, but again, people, again, in this country, they like to make a lot of, I hate to say it, but a lot of Americans tend to be very narrow minded. They like Trump, they go off speculations. Like, they just think like Haiti is all ruins and stuff like that, but there's beautiful parts of Haiti, but that American media will never show. Why? I wouldn't even say it's about race. I would just say it's more of an economical thing. It's more a class thing, if anything, because Haiti has nothing to offer. Same thing with El Salvador. You know what I mean? And I think that's why Trump feels the way he do. You know what I mean? I do feel like he is racist, but that thing about the shithole countries, he's not saying the people themselves. He's just saying the country as a whole. But to me, that's offensive because you're generalizing the whole society of people. And like I said, you got good people and you got bad people. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this, but I'm glad that when it comes to the Cubans, they dropped the whole wet feet, dry feet policy because I felt like that wasn't fair. And I understand that, with Cuba, it was a communist country, with Fidel Castro, so they let the people come in. But then, if you want to keep it a buck, not all of them, but there are people that from Cuba, especially back in the 70s and 80s, were a lot of them were criminal refugees, and then that's where you had people like Scott, like Tony Montana, in Miami, just wrecking havoc, like just wrecking shop and shit. And there was a lot of people like that, and that's why like Miami back then what it used to be back in the 80s, and again a lot of Miami was like was the coke heaven of the United States. You know what I mean? And then a lot of times it would had a lot to do with the Cubans and the Colombians. And like I said, that's not all Cubans and stuff like that. I have Cuban friends, but it's just kind of crazy like how Donald Trump's want to talk about you want to build a wall with the Mexicans and Central America, but then you let the Cubans come here without papers and stuff like that. You greet them, but then when it comes to Haitians, it's kind of like, nah, nigga, get the fuck out of here. Again, it goes back to economic. It's all about economics, man. It's like whatever you could bring to America, we'll let you in, and that's what it's all about, man. And it's fucked up. It shouldn't be that way. And it's funny because you got people that will say like, "Oh, this country, like if you don't like this country, get the fuck out of here." I'm like, okay, my G. First of all, it's mostly, I hate to say it, it's mostly white people that say shit like that, and you guys are not from this country. Yeah, you were born here, but your ancestors are not even from this country. A lot of you guys are from Europe and whatever other places outside of America that you're from. Unless you're a Native American, you guys are really not from America. So I don't understand this whole thing about if you don't like it, you can leave. Like, no, fuck that. And as far as the people that's gonna say, oh, the people themselves say that they're shithole countries. They know they're shithole countries. Why people being mad about that statement is because I'm mad because of the fact, like I said, I'm of Haitian descent, and you're demonizing a whole country, a whole region, and that's not right. And people that migrate to the United States is not because people think that people leave those countries because it's just because of the crime that they try to leave and things like that. That's not always the case, man. Like, they make it seem like these people that come to this country are, illiterate and ignorant, they're not smart, anything like that. That's not the case. Because there's people out there, there's people in those countries that had great professions. Like, some of them are doctors, some of them are business owners, some of them are going to school, and things like that. It could be because this country has more opportunities. That's just the way it is. Like, it's like going to school. Like, you going to school for like a certain, like, let's say like you live here, Palm Beach, right? Because that's where I live, and you go to school. You're going to school for like what? Okay, art, fashion, design, right? But in Palm Beach, there's no schools for that, for art and fashion design. So you're gonna migrate to a different location, where it's Miami, or you go to New York or California, because you want to better your craft. And that's the same concept with people from other countries coming here. It's not always necessarily because they're leaving the country because of the policies and the dictatorship, or what have you, or the crime. It's not always about that, So I think people just need to get that out of their heads and shit like that, and stop having this narrow-minded mentality as far as, like, we're immigrants, because this whole country is built on immigrants. You know what I mean? And as far as Norway goes, shout out to all my peoples in Norway. A beautiful country, from what I heard. Looks like a beautiful country. But the thing with Norway is that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Norway has one of the highest drug overdoses in Europe. I think it's like number two in the most drug overdoses in the whole of Europe. So I don't want a whole bunch of people, a bunch of addicts coming to this country. Like, it's bad enough we have that here in the United States. I don't want that shit here. So what can they benefit from us? Again, it's all money with this nigga Trump, because a lot of times you could take the addicts, put them in treatment, so you guys could double bill their insurance. It's a whole scam with this shit, man. It's all money, dude. So I don't even think it's about race. It's more of economics. That's what it's all about, man. It's class. That's what it's all about, man. And that shit ain't right, man. That's pretty much it on my points of the whole shithole comments. Now, for Trump. Now I want to talk about Oprah. Harpo. Oh, Lord. This lady, man. I respect Oprah, for her accomplishments in life, being the first African American. I hate that term, black lady or black person, whatever, to have their own talk show, especially for African American. And that's cool. And just all the accomplishments, just like the her movement, with women's rights and with children, and things like that. I totally respect that. And I think it was like last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, she at the Golden Globes, she had a speech, regarding the whole sexual harassment, about women's rights, again, like I said before, about her. And all that good stuff. And there's been speculations of her, trying to run for presidency, running for president in 2020. And here's my thoughts on that. I would never, ever vote for her as president. It's a president. It's bad enough we have Donald Trump as president. Again, this country goes by whoever's a celebrity. That's why Donald Trump is the president, because he is a celebrity. And look at Ronald Reagan. He was an actor before he became a president. I mean, look what happened to that. I.e. the crack era. You guys remember that? Yeah, all my 70s, 80s babies will know about that. Yeah, that's Ronald Reagan, who he allowed drugs to come into this country. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. That shit, like, right there, like, I don't even think that's a good idea, And again, like, I had my issues with Oprah. Like, for example, that whole thing with the car situation, when she gave all the audience, I guess, supposed free cars back in 2004, 2005, when she was like, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. But, there was an article with a couple that received that free car, saying that they had to get rid of the car because they had to pay the high taxes, the crazy amount of taxes they had to pay for that car. So they end up selling the car and to pay off bills. So it's one of those things where all that glitters ain't gold, and that's a prime example of that. Also, me being a hip hop head, she's always been critical about hip hop, right? Prime example, back in 2004, I think it was like 2004, 2005, you had the actors promoting the movie Crash, and Ludacris was in the movie, but he didn't come in as Ludacris, he came in as Chris Bridges. That's his government name. And, she was interviewing the people, the rest of the cast of Crash, talking about them. And then when she comes to Ludacris, who goes to Ludacris, it's like she's just like chastising the shit out of this dude. Saying like, oh, your music is demeaning to women and da 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 da. But it's like, again, it goes back to generalizing with this nigga Trump. We're generalizing about whole countries. She's generalizing, thinking that all of his music is, about hoes and demoralizing women, and his music is misogynistic and things like that. And then Ludacris said in an interview that, that he had talked back. I didn't see that interview. I would like to see that interview. But basically was saying that, like, he did respond back to her, but he was saying that the way the show aired, it made it seem like she was doing all the talking. He just stood there like just shut up like yeah yeah like just him taking it, but it doesn't show of him barking back. And again, it's bullshit, and I'm not surprised. But yet she would. But then again, I'm not the biggest Ludacris fan. I think he's dope. I say his first 3 albums. I mean, if you want to include Incognito, which is pretty much back for the first time, but with some songs that didn't make the retail album. But anyways, his first 3 albums, very dope albums. But yet she would invite 50 Cent and Jay-Z onto the show because of their business ventures. Again, 2 MCs that are not exactly positive role models, not positive rappers, you know? And again, if you listen to their early music, they were about, demonizing women, shooting up people, things like that. Just all the negative shit that you could think of. And the way Jay-Z is as a person, I just don't see him as a good guy, but that's neither here or there. But again, she would bring those kind of people. Again, it all boils down to money because of their business ventures. So, in other words, my thing is that she don't give a fuck about nobody. She's all about the money. You see what I'm saying? Because when she first came in the beginning, when she first started in the beginning, she was all about black people's rights and this and that and the third. But she'll only address certain issues as long as it benefits her. You see what I'm saying? So that's my thing with the whole Oprah hoopla. So she don't give a fuck about nobody. She just cares about herself. She just cares about money. You see what I'm saying? And there's been speculations about her and Trump, how they were friends and da-da-da, which I wouldn't be no surprise. And one more thing about Trump, I've never been a fan of Trump. Never been a fan of him, even when he was a Democrat, when he was friends with the Clintons back in the day. I never liked him. When I saw him at Home Alone 2, when Kevin asked for Donald Trump for directions, never liked him then. Didn't like when he played Waldo's dad in Little Rascals, when he was saying, when he called when Waldo called Donald Trump, and which he played as his pops. And he said something about, you're the best dad, and then I'm going to make sure I'm going to win. And then, Donald Trump is like, you're the best son that money can buy, son. It's like, I didn't like him then. So, I don't know, man. I'm not one of these people that, that jump the gun when it comes to certain things. But when you talk about my people, about the Haitian family, Haitian people, I'm going to take offense to that. And usually I don't like doing these political kind of rants. But this one I have to, and that's pretty much it, guys. Sorry for the ramble, for the long ramble, but you guys already know how I get down. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of disagreements, and a lot of dislikes. If you agree, that's cool. If you disagree, that's cool. Keep it respectful. Keep it respectful. That's all I'll say. That's all I have to say. Keep it respectful. And please watch the whole thing. I know there's a lot of my subscribers like to do that. They like to comment, yeah, great video, but like I just posted a video. Like how you gonna comment when you didn't even watch the whole video? And I know my videos are long, but I'm not changing that. I like to give you guys full detail, and that's what it is. That's it, folks. Definitely stay tuned for more videos. Alright, be easy. Peace.